Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to talk to you guys about something pretty serious because some of you saw my Facebook and people realized that, yeah, I actually took the time to talk on the phone with one of the people who, uh, wanted to be trolls or stalkers or whatever we want to call them, and I actually had kind of a one-on-one conversation with him. And one of the things that came up is that a lot of people who dislike me think that I lied about the bomb squad and everything, having to close my street down as a result of all of the stalking and everything that I've had to be subjected to. And I thought I would go ahead and show here some of the actual police cards so that there are case numbers here so that anyone who thinks that I'm lying, I'm being transparent. Here's your proof. You can go look this stuff up. This is all publicly available information. The Freedom of Information Act gives you legal access to this stuff as a citizen. And I want to clarify some points here because a lot of people are talking about, oh, you got evicted from your apartment for whatever reason, for being crazy or whatever. All right, that's actually not what happened. It has to do with this bomb scare, and I actually did not get evicted. I do not actually have an eviction on my credit report. So let's talk about this a little bit. And I included the bottom card underneath it because less than a week before I had to meet with the police, and they came up there because of a terroristic threat, like an actual credible terroristic threat. And again, that's a public record there also. But what people need to understand, it wasn't me who called the bomb squad. It was the actual management of the apartment complex. And again, contrary to rumors, anyone can go look up the Palazzo in Cypress, Texas, and realize it was not a poverty apartment. I mean, I had hardwood floors, marble countertops. It's not a poverty apartment. I actually had a decent, nice apartment there. Now, I don't know what their current security is, but it was a gated community. It was not a gate where the average person was supposed to be able to get in. In other words, there was no gate code to get in. You either had to call and someone had to use their phone who lived there to let you in, or they had to use their clickers that everyone was given one of to open the gate. And there were no trespassing signs up. So yes, technically all the people who had come to my door harassing me were technically trespassing. They crossed a no trespassing sign to get through the gate. They did not have access themselves, and they probably tailgated other people in, and that's how people were getting inside. Because that was something that, again, the management there was very, very concerned about. There were dozens of people getting through their gate who legally did not have access, didn't have clickers, didn't have the ability to open the gate, were getting inside. And that was, again, a security issue for them. But what led up to them calling the bomb squad is that all of these people who hated me and who did this stuff, these people are psychopaths, and they are being terrorists. They are being cyber terrorists because it's not just me that they harassed. These people disrupted the lives of all of my neighbors. These people actually were sending threats and crazy emails to the management of the apartments. They were mailing dossiers to all the residents who lived there. And they created an actual fear. And the management there didn't have a problem with me. They didn't create a fear of me. They created a fear of the fact that there was someone living there who had stalkers that obsessed with them. And I had to coordinate with management of this apartment for quite some time after my address had gotten down. We had to coordinate stuff around this, and they had to stay in communication with me because this was a real concern for them. And again, it's not me, and people are saying, you brought that on yourselves. No, I didn't. I didn't bring that. No one expects, because you're on YouTube, that your neighbors or people who you rent from are going to be harassed and be threatened. And that's the problem. Those people didn't do anything to deserve that. And that's the point of all of this. These people disrupted the lives of innocent people. I mean, and that is craziness, and that is terrorism. To disrupt the lives of innocent people because you hate someone who is remotely affiliated with them, because they're a customer of theirs or because they're a neighbor of theirs, to make people feel in terror makes you a bad person. And that's not internet pranks. People, are saying on the internet, and there's even been stories about this, oh, these are just pranks. Sending threatening emails and phone calls to a building and then mailing 250 pounds of packages with derogatory terms written on the outside after bomb threats and terroristic threats have been made against a building over a person who lives there or who works there or anything else, to then send massive heavy packages with derogatory terms and that people's names on the actual shipping labels is actually an act of terrorism. That's not a practical joke. And again, people need to understand that this disrupted the lives of innocent people. Many people who had never met me, had no idea who I was. Their lives were disrupted and they had to be terrorized purely because people on the internet became obsessed and hate a YouTuber. That it wasn't enough for them to just harass that person. They actually had to terrorize and legitimately terrorize innocent people. And that's evil. That's evil. And it doesn't matter how much you hate a person. It doesn't matter how bad of a person someone is. You could think I'm the biggest scumbag walking the face of the earth. You could think I'm worse than Hitler. But that doesn't give you the right to terrorize innocent people who aren't even affiliated with me other than they rented property to me or signed an agreement with me, or I bought something from them, or they're a relative of my girlfriend. I mean, guys, that is evil. That's insanity. And anyone who's affiliated with that campaign needs to seriously rethink their lives and value system, because in what world has anything I have ever done on the internet been of that equal magnitude of harm? It's not even possible. This caused actual innocent people to have to be terrorized, because if you read that report and you look into it, and actually there are witnesses, at least one subscriber knows who I am. He lived in that apartment complex and he bumped into me while I was there. He's posted in my comments before that, yeah, he couldn't even get to his home. He couldn't get to his home because the bomb squad closed the entire street down all evening long. Because again, due to the threats, they had to shut the street down. There were people who couldn't get to their homes, and it created a sense of terror for these people. These people felt that they were under terrorist attack, and they didn't know what was going to happen. And management felt terrorized, and that's ultimately what happened. And that's another situation. People think I got evicted, or then they talk about, oh man, they're actually saying it's a bad thing that we ran temporarily to stay at Brittany's grandma's house. We did that because we were having to arrange another place to live to, and it's hard to move on short notice. Most places within Texas, even if you're going to go get a new home, it takes up to 30 days to set that up. We needed a week or two to transition. And so, yeah, we had started arranging that ahead of time because I knew that we were not going to be able to stay there. We weren't going to be able to live in a place like that where people are mailing fake bombs and the bomb squad is showing up. And management talked to me, and I told them I'm making other arrangements, and they let me know our people are terrorized. We have over 20 residents here who are now threatening to leave because they're in fear. They're in fear of a bomb. They're in fear of a terrorist attack. So these people were terrorized. Innocent people were in legitimate fear for their life because of trolls on the internet. And what they had told me, we understand that if we evict you, that this is not going to be a legal grounds for eviction. You're probably going to sue us. But we're going to have to if you don't find a new place to go. And so we discussed a time frame for me to get everything moved out, and I was already in the moving process when they came and talked to me about this, and basically said, and if we do end up we're going to have to evict you because of these customers, and we'll have to take the loss if you sue us later, because we're going to lose too much money from all these people, and these people are going to sue us. We'll end up just having to settle with you if we do it. But the problem was then I would have had an eviction report on my credit. So yeah, we moved out quickly. We moved out quickly, and it took me a little bit of time. It took me over a week to even locate a new secure place to eventually move to. But the reality is, no, we didn't flee to her grandma's because we were broke. I wasn't evicted. We had to flee because of legitimate fear of terrorist attacks. And it's in those reports. And again, that was even the management. The management are the ones who contacted the police. The bomb squad had to come out. And it was just absolutely crazy. But this is the sort of people, when you guys see these crazy videos that people make about me, or all these people who are associated with this hate campaign, this is the sort of stuff they do. And if you support them, this is the sort of behavior that you're doing. It's okay to hate me. Just like I told that guy on the phone who I talked to, I said, you know what, you're entitled to your opinion. If you think I'm a terrible person, that's your right to believe that. It's your right to express that. But that doesn't give you a right to be a stalker. It doesn't give you a right to harass innocent people. It doesn't give you a right to make people feel in danger for their lives. There's a difference between having an opinion and free speech and actually terrorizing people and being a bad person. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.